UFC Fight Night, Hermansson versus Pyfer. We're gonna break down this card. I'm gonna tell you exactly what I'm picking, why I'm picking, and before we do that, we're gonna break down the last card we had with UFC Vegas, Imavo versus Dolice. We're gonna go over all the fights. I'm gonna tell you what I did. I had a good card. I actually had a profitable card, but I've made some mistakes. I got to some conclusions and I want to share it with you guys. And before we start, if you can, like the video, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate all of you for doing that. It helps the channel to grow and spread the video out there. Let's start with the first fight. We had Jamal Pogues against Thomas Peterson. I was quite disappointed. I thought that Peterson's gonna win in this fight. I thought he could knock out Jamal Pogues, and I was wrong. Peterson lost, and in the first round, he managed to get Pogues to the ground. He managed to, get him to the ground and start working. Unfortunately, it was too late because the round ended. What happened next is that Pogues managed to keep the fight standing, and you know what happened when you keep the fight standing with a wrestler that doesn't have that good of I would say striking, you lose. So congratulations to Peterson, to Pogues. He was definitely a better striker in that fight. So that's that. Now the next fight, Markel Medeiros and Landon Quinones. This was the debut for Medeiros. In my opinion, Quinones won. I saw a better striking from Quinones. He was just every hit he put on Medeiros' face. You saw Medeiros like going backwards, starting to tilt, and he didn't let Medeiros get into the flow that he managed to get in when he wasn't on Contender. So I think that Quinones was robbed in this fight, in my opinion. Let me know what you think. So they gave Medeiros the fight, but I didn't see him really hurting Quinones at any stage of the fight. Next fight, we have Julia Stolyarenko against Luana Carolina. I thought here that Stolyarenko is gonna submit her. She really had a hard time getting Luana to the ground. She just couldn't get it. When she did, it was too late, and her striking is just terrible, just horrific. Congrats to Luana. Like, even in that third round, she was in deep waters. She almost got submitted, and she managed to get out. And Julia cardio was shit. So congratulations to her. Yeah. Next fight, we got Blake Bilder and Jong Yong Lee. I thought Bilder's gonna win here, and you know what? Lee won, and he did it he dominated the entire fight. Like, Blake Bilder couldn't answer what Jong Yong Lee had to offer. He was striking the body. He was so smooth with his striking and his wrestling defense as well. I see a bright future for this young Korean fighter. I really look forward to see how he's gonna perform in his next fight. Bilder just survived. He's a dog, but he couldn't hurt him in any way. He just tried to control him as much as he can so he won't get knocked out. But horrific performance by him. Themba Gorimbo and Pete Rodriguez. I was surprised, man. Themba Gorimbo just came out, first round knockout. I took the under here because I knew this is gonna end or by Rodriguez probably knocking out Themba, or by Themba I thought he's gonna submit him or ground and pound, but man, Themba showed really good striking. Like, he just exploded with that punch. I think it was a right punch. and a straight punch, and he sent him sleeping. Now, Charles Johnson and Azat Maxim, man, let me tell you something. I chose Johnson. Some people in the comments did not agree, but Johnson, he's a fighter. He's a good fighter. He's a really good striker. And, man, what I like about Johnson is it doesn't matter who is facing. You just can't submit him. And you saw that. I thought Azat got him in a fucking anaconda, and I thought it's gonna be over, But Johnson, man, not only he is very athletic, but he knows what he's doing. He knew exactly what to do there to prevent Azat from choking him. He didn't let Azat get to his body to finish the anaconda. And yeah, the first round he got caught, but man, Charles Johnson is just, I was so happy for him to win, that he won, because he just had bad luck with some of the competition. He had like really strong wrestlers, and he got it. I put the over on him, and I also put a bet on him here, and I won. The only problem is I parlayed the over here with an over here with Molly and Deanna. And man, Molly, what the fuck? Like, what was that submission? It's like she just did to Deanna what Julia Stolyarenko did to her. And you know what? Congratulations. Like, she looked much better on the feet. Deanna just couldn't handle her. And that submission was also really good. So congratulations to Molly for that win. This is like, I'm truly ashamed of picking Urbina here. I'm truly ashamed. I'm sorry, guys, if anyone told me here. I had a bet on Urbina, and he lost first round. It was just terrible. And I'll give you one of the lessons I've learned from this experience. Just don't. I'm not gonna bet fighters who are inconsistent. I'm not gonna bet fighters who haven't proven themselves at the high levels, or are just debuting or one fight after their debut. I'll tell you why. Because the Urbina I saw against Orion is not the Urbina I saw against Radke. And the Radke I saw against Blood Diamond was not the Radke I saw against Urbina. Like, Charles Radke looked like a minus 1,000 when he fought Urbina. And Urbina he wasn't aggressive. It's like he was waiting for Charles Radke to knock him the fuck out, and that's what happened. And I only blame myself. We learn from our bets. I try to learn as much as possible. If I have two consistent losing weeks, I go over all the bets I do. I write them down. I write the conclusions, and I go over all the bets I've done, just to really see what I'm doing good and what I'm doing wrong. And I tell you what I did good in this specific card. But yeah, Urbina, just terrible. I'm not gonna put my money on him again. And that's it. Next fight, terrible eye poke by Kizirev and Muradov. I thought Muradov can win, but Kizirev had like good striking in the beginning. Natalia Silva and Vivian Araujo. Man, Silva, I love her performance. She's always getting better. Her striking is so good. Those head kicks, just amazing. I put my money on Natalia, and I also put the over because Araujo is tough. And yeah, I got them both. I really see Silva. She can really be a future champion, in my opinion. She can be a future champion, and not only that, she can be a dominant champion. She just needs to work on her wrestling defense, which he showed a good wrestling defense against Araujo, but there's gonna be tougher competition in the future for her. Next fight, Randy Brown and Muslim Salikov. Bro, what? Brown just looked like, when I saw him, he was in the moment. He was dancing. He was comfortable. And man, when I saw him just being there in the moment, I knew first round he's gonna win. I haven't put a bet on him, but bro, Randy Brown just looked incredible. It was the second time Salikov got knocked out, and he just put him out there, Randy Brown, congratulations. Really good performance. Now, Moicano and Dober. What a fight. What a fight. The thing about Moicano, other than the fact he knows how to speak at the end of the fight, man, his striking is really good. He stood up and tried to exchange with Dober, and I respect that because, Dober can KO a horse. And Moicano just stood there, and he got caught with some shots, and then he was smart enough to take it to the ground where he has the advantage. And Dober just kept fighting, he not only that he kept fighting, I thought he would win, but in the third round he did like this sloppy takedown, and he just fell on his back, and that was game over for him. He lost the third round by that stupid decision of trying to take down Moicano instead of just releasing and staying where he's comfortable. And he lost. I had no bet here, but let me tell you which bet I had. I took the over. I put a max bet because I was so pissed off about Urbina being such a terrible fighter. So I took the over on Imavov and Dolidze. And let me tell you something. It wasn't easy because the first round, thank God that Herb Dean didn't stop the fight. I took the over 2.5. I put a max bet there. And it cashed. But even in the fourth round, I was afraid they were going to DQ or they would have a no contest with Imavov kicking Dolidze head while he still had that hand on the ground. Thank God Dolidze didn't start crying about it. And Imavov, man, he's good. He just dominated the entire 5 rounds. Dolidze had nothing to offer other than maybe some grappling exchanges. But congratulations to Imavov. I think that if he's gonna fight Curtis again, he's gonna fucking destroy Curtis. He's a much better striker, counter striker as well. So that's the recap. Now let's start with the card next week. Hermansson versus Pyfer. First fight, we got 2 strikers going at it. Daniel Marcus and however you say his name, Aoriqileng. Both of them are strikers. The better striker with more volume, with better accuracy, the more creative striker is Daniel Marcus. He already proved himself going against people like Grant, which is he's a veteran of the game. He never lost. I like the Peruvian fighters, man. They bring really good Peruvian fighters, especially their striking is on point. And the Mongolian Murderer, I'm not, he had a decent performance against Munoz, but Munoz is more of a jiu-jitsu guy. His striking is not that good, and he got knocked the fuck out by Hyman Zahabi. Now, I got Marcus here all day. I'm probably going to bet on Marcus. Not only picking him, I'm probably going to bet on him just because he has all the tools to stand against the Mongolian, and he's the better striker. That's it, and that's what's gonna give him the win. I would say he's gonna win by decision, but he can knock him out. Like Aoriqileng was knocked out before, and I believe he can be knocked out again. Yeah, he was knocked out once, so by Armen. I'll just say decision. I'm saying decision. But he can get knocked out. For sure. Next fight, we got Hyder, Amil, and Fernie Garcia. I wasn't too impressed by Hyder Amil performance in Contender Series. He was so gassed at the third round. I thought he would die just by being so gassed, but he kept pushing like he's a dog. Now Fernie, he's a tough guy. He's a tough guy, but he just had no luck. Like he had really like Nakamura, man. He's such a tough wrestler, and like Fernie just stayed there when he tried to submit him. Like he wouldn't let him. He wouldn't give him the submission. He lost to Brady Heiston. He lost to Jorny Newson. I don't know, man. I would say this. I say Fernie can win here. I think he's gonna win, but I'm just picking the over. I'm just picking the over because both are tough, and that's it. Both are tough. I'm here to make money. I'm not here to be right. Like, of course I'm here to be right in order to make money, but I think the over is the smarter bet here, just because both are not that good and both are quite equal. So, but I know both are tough, so I'm just gonna take the over in this fight. Next fight, we got Pauga and Bogdan Guskov. Like, listen, when Bogdan had the fight against Volkan Ozdemir, I knew it was like Volkan all day. This guy has no chin. He has heavy hands, but he only fought cans before he went and fought Volkan. The only decent competition he had knocked him out as well. Now, Zach Pauga, I'm not too impressed by him, but he has power. Like, he can knock you out. If he finds the chin, it's over for Bogdan. You know, but Bogdan can find Pauga's chin as well. Pauga was knocked out before. I'm saying Pauga's gonna win, but I'm picking the under. If I would have to make a bet, I would say this is not going the distance. You have two heavy-handed strikers with questionable chin. I'm picking the under here just because I think it's the smart bet to make. Next fight, we have Jeremiah Wells and Max Griffin. Man, Jeremiah Wells is the most explosive fighter I've ever seen. This guy is a fucking monster. He's like the Hulk. And he only lost to Carlston Harris because he just went to that choke, man. Before that, he was dominating Carlston Harris. He got that choke. Like, God gave him that choke that same day. Now, Max Griffin, like his fight against Michael Morales, he managed to hurt Morales a bit. But it feels like, you know, a split decision with Team Means, split with Magny, that's fine. I don't know, man. I think Jeremiah Wells is just too explosive for Griffin. I think he can just dominate him He can probably knock Griffin out. I don't think Griffin was ever knocked out. Yeah, he was knocked out in the third round. But I think, he's 38 already. Jeremiah Wells, how old is he? Jeremiah Wells is like, he's younger for sure. 37, not that young. But he looks good, man. Like in his last fight, he looked like the Hulk. He was just so fucking explosive. He could just run over you and win. So I'm picking Jeremiah Wells just because he's a dog, man. Like even if you put him down, he's gonna keep running at you. We saw that with his fight against Semmelsberger, who has power in his hands. So I'm picking Wells, man. I think he can win. I'm not gonna bet this fight just because Griffin is good. He can hurt him, but I'm picking Wells. Next fight, we got Devin Clark and Marcin Prachnio. I'm picking Devin Clark here. I'm not too impressed by Prachnio. Like in his last fight against Vitor Petrino, he really Vitor was better everywhere. He was just playing with him. He essentially then took him to the ground and finished it. Now Devin Clark, he has this karate stance, but he's a wrestler. And he's a good wrestler. Like he can take you down. And Marcin wrestling defense is not that good. I really think that Devin Clark can win. He's a dog. He has a chin. He got submitted by Kennedy, but Kennedy was throwing those elbows at him, and he kept standing. I'm picking Devin Clark. I think he's the better fighter. I think he's gonna dominate because he's gonna take him to the floor. Probably finish it by ground and pound or arm triangle. So give me Devin Clark to win. That's my pick for this specific fight. Next fight, we got Loma, Lookboonmee, and Bruna, Brasil. I got Loma, man. Bruna has no chin. She got knocked out a few times. She's not that good. Yeah, she won against what's her name? She won against the Irish Shauna Bannon. But Shauna Bannon wasn't good. Like she was hyped like she's the next fucking big thing, but she wasn't that good at all. She has a chin, I'll give her that. But she's no Ronda Rousey. And Loma, man, Loma is tough. She's coming with her Muay Thai base. Every Muay Thai fighter before she probably went to the UFC, she had like hundreds of Muay Thai fights. And she has good wins. She won against Denise Gomes. She had a tough fight against Angela Hill, who eventually won. She had a decision loss to Lupita Godinez, which is, aged well. I just think that this is a step down in competition for her with Bruna. Bruna has no chin. Loma, she has those nasty elbows. She has really good striking, those front kicks to the face, like you can see in the picture here with Angela Hill. Yeah, I'm picking Loma. This is a confident pick that Luma's gonna win. She can knock her out because Bruna has no chin. So this is my pick. Two strikers. Just Loma is the better striker out of the two. Next fight, we got Bolaji Oki and Damir Hadžović. I got Bolaji Oki. When he fought in Contender, he fought this guy who was allegedly a really good kickboxer, Dylan Salvador, and he knocked him out in the first round, man. Now Damir, I'm not really impressed by him in any way. I saw his fight against DKC. DKC just controlled him 3 rounds. We didn't really see his his striking in that fight. He's a striker, obviously, but also Bolaji. Bolaji is also a striker. I'm saying this is gonna go for Bolaji just because he was so impressive in his contender. But that's the thing. He's not, for me, for my standards. He's still not proven. I want to see him fight more, to really prove himself with better competition. But I'm still gonna give the fight to Bolaji. I think he's like, obviously he's much younger, almost 10 years younger than Damir, and he has power in both his hands. He goes for the body. I think he can win, and that's my pick for this specific fight. Next fight, I'm looking forward for this fight, guys. I want to see Prates in action again. I want to see the nightmare giving nightmares. He's going to fight Trevin Giles. I'm not impressed by Giles in any means. I'm not impressed by him in any means. Like his last fight against Gabriel Santos, it was? No, sorry, Gabriel Bonfim. Like Gabriel Bonfim just took the guillotine choke and he had him out. But he had like a split decision with Preston Parsons, who's a wrestler. And, split decision with Preston Parsons is not that impressive. I don't know if any of you have seen the fight that Prates had against, like, in his contender. But, bro, they call him the nightmare for a reason. His striking is deadly. Like, he's just a fucking sniper. And when he hits you, like, you feel it. Like, he had his contender fight against an undefeated guy. What was his name? Against Mitch Ramirez, who's a tough guy. At one point, he just gave that straight left. And it was over. Like, he just fell and he was unconscious for a few seconds. And Prates knew it was over. I love Prates. He's coming on a 5-win streak. He had fights in one championship. He is training at Vale top team. Like, I saw some really good guys on his corner. Yeah, I'm picking Prates all day. I think he can knock out Trevin Giles. And that's my pick. I'm looking forward to watch this fight just because when Prates strikes, it's like an art. Next fight, we got Rodolfo Vieira and Armen Petrosyan. This fight should have happened in Brazil, but something happened to Petrosyan. He started puking backstage and they canceled the fight. Back then, I picked Rodolfo Vieira. That was my pick. I'm still picking Rodolfo Vieira. I'm gonna stay consistent. Nothing really changed since. But I'm telling you, this is what's gonna happen. If Rodolfo Vieira is not finishing Armen in the first round or the second, it's Armen all day. Like, I'm probably gonna do a live bet on Armen if he manages to survive the first and second round with Rodolfo, just because his stamina is so bad. I don't know why in his last fight it was terrible. He probably worked on it. Fighters, they don't stay the same. Like, people are thinking, he had no stamina in that fight, so he's not gonna have a stamina in this fight. But if you're a fighter, you see what you did wrong, and you go and work on it so you'll be better in the next fight. And that's why, in my opinion, he's going to have better stamina this time. He's not going to gas so fast like he did with Fluffy. So I'm picking Vieira, but this is really I'm not confident with this pick. Picking Vieira, we're going to see what's going to happen. Michael Johnson and Darius Flowers. Michael Johnson. I'm picking Michael Johnson. I'm gonna give him a chance. Like, he was knocked out brutally in his last fight. He was looking good, you know. Michael Johnson striking is really good. But the problem with Johnson, man, is he has no chin. That chin is long gone. That chin is long gone. And the thing about Flowers, man, Flowers can knock people out. Like, he's explosive, right? 7 TKOs first round. Got a TKO in the second round. So the thing is, I just don't think that's my problem, and I'm making like a live pick here with you guys. It's a hard fight because Flowers can definitely knock out Johnson. If Johnson is not too careful, if Johnson's gonna leave his chin in the air, it's over. But I'm picking Johnson because his striking is really good. Like, when he's in the zone, like, you can't stop him. He has in his prime time, he had really good wins against people. You know, win against Philly, win against Dustin Poirier. He lost to Nurmagomedov, lost to Gaethje. But he's a veteran of the game. You know, he's been in the UFC since 2012, even before that. But yeah, I'm picking Johnson. I'm not gonna bet because, you know, Johnson is not what he used to be. He's 37 already, and Flowers, man, is dangerous. He's young, he's dangerous. So I'm picking Johnson just because his striking is much better. He's probably gonna have the reach advantage as well. His reach is 73 inches. Flowers is most likely less than him, 71. Not that big of a difference. But yeah, I'm gonna pick Johnson to win. Hopefully, he's gonna win. Next fight, we got Tavares and Gregory Rodriguez. I'm picking Rodriguez. Like, this guy, man, in his last fight against Dennis Tululun, however you say his last name, he was just like, he killed him in the first round. He's such a good jiu-jitsu guy. Like, if he gets Tavares to the floor, it's over. He's gonna submit him. The thing about Tavares, man, he has really, really, really good takedown defense. He's a strong guy. He was never submitted. He has good takedown defense. But he never competed with someone on the level of Gregory Rodriguez when it comes to at least jiu-jitsu. So I'm picking Rodriguez. I think he can pull this one out. That's my pick. Rodriguez to win. Hihor Potiera against Robert Brishek. Let me tell you something. This is an under. Both are super explosive in the first round. Both can knock out each other. And both, like, Robert, I saw some of his fights. It's gonna be his debut. They're putting him on the main card. With Hihor, who's not that good. Like, he lost in his last two fights to the Brazilian and to the New Zealander. But man, I saw Brishik, and he has power in his hands. He's a good striker. He goes to the body, he goes to the face. He's gonna and I think he's gonna knock Hyder the fuck out. Hyder was knocked out before. His chin is questionable. His cardio is questionable. And he's coming short notice to this fight because Robert should have fought someone else. I'm picking Robert, man. He's the better striker. He has power in his hands, and I pick him. And I'm also saying it's gonna be an under. This is not going past the first round. Next fight we got Dan Ige and Andrea Fili. Both are good strikers. Both have good jiu-jitsu. In my opinion, just Dan Ige, he's a bit sharper in both his striking and his jiu-jitsu. I'm picking Dan Ige to win. I'm looking forward to this fight because both are really good. I love Fili's striking. You know, he took Woodson down with. He knocked him down. He just fucking knocked out Lucas Almeida. I picked him in that fight. You know, losing to Brito, that's everyone are losing to Brito. Winning against Algio is very, it's aging very well. So I really don't know. I'm gonna tell you this. This is probably going over. It's probably going over. But I'm picking Ige. I think that he can win, just because he had really good competition as well. Damon Jackson, Nate Landwehr. He lost to Mitchell, which is fine because Mitchell looked really well in that fight and with his wrestling and all that. Lost to Ivloev, lost to Emmett. I'm just gonna go with the over because both are good fighters, both are durable. Yes, Fili was finished. Ige was never finished. But even in his wins in the UFC, he knocked out Damon Jackson, unanimous decision here, split with Barboza, split unanimous. Yeah, it's probably going over. So I'm gonna say over, and Ige can win. In the main event, we got Joe Pyfer, Joe Pyfer, and Jack Hermansson. My pick is Joe Pyfer. He's more than a 5-win streak, but he's on a long win streak. What I like about Pyfer, man, he's so explosive. He's even more explosive than the other guy. What's his name? Jeremiah Wells. Like, if he punches you, you're out. And they even did, like, they have this place in the UFC where they check how powerful are your punches, and he punches, like, his punches are more powerful than what's his name, Ngannou punches. That's how strong he is, and he's a middleweight. Now Jack Hermansson, he's a very, I would say, like, he's better everywhere, right? He can submit you, he can knock you out. He's a good striker. Won against Curtis, split against Sean Strickland. Even got he lost point to Chimaev in a wrestling competition. But at the same time, he's 35. That's already getting old for a UFC fighter. Pyfer is younger. He's the stronger guy. He has good wrestling. He has good jits. I think he can win this. Probably not gonna make any pick here, just because both of them are good. Anything can happen here. But I'll give it to Pyfer to win. That's it, guys. If you are still here, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get to at least 100 likes. I really appreciate you guys. And if you have any input you want to give me on how I can improve the videos, your watching experience, let me know in the comments below. And that's it. I'll see you in the next one.